This is the TUTTIO ICT Electric-Bike. To be honest, it's hard not to notice it at first glance. This thing looks more like a mini electric motorcycle than what most people picture when they hear e-bike. The frame is just solid and beefy, with a super modern design and those eye-catching 20-inch fat tires. It's got a clean, sturdy aluminum frame in this dark gray color. Feels a bit industrial, but also slick and a bit futuristic. The combination of the bright, wide headlight in front and the bold, blocky taillight at the back really makes it pop, especially when you're riding at dusk or at night. From my experience, this isn't just a looker. It's a real monster under the hood. Well, if bikes had hoods, I mean. When I first read about the 4,000 Watt peak power and the 60 volts 25 watt-hour battery, I had to admit I felt a mix of excitement and a bit of skepticism. Numbers are great on paper. Everyone likes a big number. But what does that actually feel like on a regular day, you know? Some e-bikes overpromise and underdeliver, especially when things get rough or the battery's down to the last bar. So let me share what it's actually like to ride this thing. The torque, which is basically the immediate pulling power when you twist the throttle, feels insanely responsive. It's got 107 newtons of torque, and you can tell, the moment you start, the power's just there. There was a bit of a learning curve, to be honest. The stock controller that came installed made the throttle super sensitive, almost twitchy. I struggled to keep it under 10 miles an hour when cruising through crowded bike paths, since it pretty much jumps from 0 to powerful in a split second. Feathering the throttle for slow, steady rides was tough. I care quite a bit about feeling in control, especially on powerful bikes like this, so I swapped out the original controller for a VESC 75200 Pro. It's a more advanced, programmable controller you can tweak with your phone. Suddenly, the throttle response transformed. It's now smoother, way more linear, and much easier to modulate. That means if I want to roll at a walking pace or blast down an empty road, the power now matches what my hand tells it to do, instead of feeling like I'm wrestling with the bike for control. For anyone wondering, switching controllers isn't for absolute beginners, but the payoff is huge. The next thing you notice is just how much this ride soaks up bumps. Full suspension on both ends, an inverted fork in front, spring suspension at the rear. For city rides, potholes barely register. But when I took it to some rocky trails and loose gravel, that comfort was still pretty decent. Although honestly, the suspension isn't as plush as the frame looks. It's a little clunky, especially in the back, and bottoms out if you hit something bigger or try to jump a curb too aggressively. Tuning it helps a bit, but it's not quite up to serious dirt bike or hardcore mountain bike standards. That being said, for most city adventures, ramps, and light off-roading, it still does what you need. One thing I want to highlight from my experience is the stopping power. The hydraulic disc brakes, with those huge 220mm rotors and 4-piston calipers, give you a ton of confidence. I put them to the test, heading down long, steep hills and also during busy traffic situations, and they just dig in and stop the bike fast. Little details like a bright brake-activated taillight also make a big difference at night or in heavy traffic. On battery life and range, I get a lot of people asking, does it really go as far as they say? So, here's what I've seen. On pure electric mode without pedaling at all, I got just under 35 miles on pretty flat ground, which is actually close to what's advertised. If you use pedal assist, there are 5 levels, the range shoots up. For me, that meant a couple of longer weekend rides without worrying about running out of juice. Each full charge does take a good 8 to 9 hours, so I recommend plugging it in overnight if you've got a long ride planned the next day. What about size and fit? I'm about 5'9", and it fits me pretty well. The seating position is upright, not cramped, but anyone much shorter might struggle with the higher saddle and wide reach to the bars. Riders under 5'5" could find it tricky to get both feet comfortably on the ground. I'd recommend giving it a test fit if you're on the shorter side. Also, it's not a light bike, over 100 pounds, so if you need to haul it upstairs or lift it into a car, you're gonna notice. A few other things worth mentioning. That big, colorful screen in the middle is super easy to read and shows you everything you need. Speed, battery level, distance, what mode you're in. There are 3 riding modes: pure electric, throttle only, pedal assist, and manual. So if you feel like pedaling for exercise or to save battery, you can, although it's heavy to ride without any motor help. Swapping between the modes is as simple as pushing a button on the handlebar, so you don't have to plan ahead. Talking about my favorite part, the sheer fun and versatility. This thing brings out the kid in you. On quiet roads, you can accelerate up to 43-ish mph, but honestly, the blast of speed off the line is what stands out most. If you want to pop a wheelie, you barely need to shift your weight. It's perfect for people who want a serious thrill on two wheels, but also want to ride safely and quietly compared to a gas dirt bike. The fat tires inspire confidence. Dirt, loose gravel, even a patch of snow in winter, the bike doesn't really care much. And when the sun starts fading, those headlights and extra bright taillights have your back. Still, it's not all perfect. The weight will be tough for some, and the suspension, while better than a hardtail, does have limits. If you like super technical mountain trails or need featherweight handling for tight city parking, this probably isn't your ideal bike. The legal situation is another thing. Some places in the US and elsewhere have rules about max speed and power for electric bikes. Go over 28 max per hour and it's technically closer to a motor vehicle, so you want to check what's cool in your area. In conclusion, the TUTTIO ICT electric bike is everything I'd hoped for. Serious power, solid range, great looks, and solid tech. It blurs the line between an electric mountain bike and a lightweight electric motorcycle, and it does that with confidence. I'd recommend this for anyone who wants more power and range than a typical commuter e-bike, likes to ride on different terrain, and doesn't mind a bit of extra weight for all that you're getting. From my experience, it's completely changed how I look at what an electric bike can do, and made getting out on two wheels genuinely exciting again. If you found this quick review helpful, tap subscribe and leave a comment if you have any questions or want to know more about this bike or electric bikes in general. Thank you for watching.